Factually inaccurate.
Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg has proudly announced that the U.S. has managed to go a whole 24 hours without any trains flying off the tracks and exploding into balls of fire while spewing deadly chemicals into the air.
This is a momentous achievement for our country. All the choo-choo trains are still on the tracks, and it's been a whole day. So many people worked hard to accomplish this goal, and we were successful. This is definitely because I'm gay.
The Transportation Secretary was clear, however, that his work is still not done.
We still have a long way to go. Clearly, some trains are racist, and we must stop them. Some train tracks are still racist, and we must dismantle them and then rebuild them using construction workers of color. I am gay.
The Department of Transportation confirmed it will spare no resources to make sure America can go another 24 hours without a historic transportation disaster, or maybe at least 12 hours, or an hour or two. Buttigieg has decided to delay his presidential campaign announcement until everyone forgets about this whole thing. An update to this story, another train carrying deadly chemicals has just derailed. Representative Ilhan Omar has canceled a planned rally to support the victims of East Palestine chemical spill after learning that East Palestine is actually in America.
Oh, East Palestine is just a small town in Ohio? Is that where all the white people live?
Said a disappointed Omar to her brother while they were out on a Valentine's Day date.
Who cares about Ohio? Some trains did something. Who cares?
Sources say the planned rally was going to raise funds for the thousands of people who are getting sick and dying after hostile forces burned thousands of gallons of toxic chemicals and poisoned the water for miles around.
That sounds like something the evil Zionists would do. I was looking forward to leading a Death to Israel chant. Bummer.
Omar has officially blamed the train derailment and ensuing ecological disaster on the Jews. Meanwhile, government officials are warning residents of East Palestine to protect themselves from deadly health risks by making sure they've received the latest COVID booster. The Ohio Department of Health reiterated that it's essential to get vaccinated, especially if you're traveling to a new place after losing your home to a deadly chemical spill and are being forced to leave under threat of arrest. At airtime, the Department of Transportation had recommended preventing future chemical spills by making everyone turn in their guns. White House sources say an envoy of extraterrestrial beings stifled their frustration and asked to be taken to a different leader after their initial meeting with President Joe Biden left them confused and exasperated.
I guess he's not the leader they were expecting. It was a classic sci-fi movie scenario with the aliens arriving and telling us, "Take us to your leader." We quickly set up a meeting with President Biden and things went downhill from there.
The aliens were already asking why we kept shooting down their peace-offering balloons containing Hickory Farms cheese and sausage gift baskets. But I guess it really started to get bad when the lead alien put out his hand to greet the president and Joe bent down and bit the creature's finger.
Reports indicate that relations between the two sides only grew worse once the president began speaking.
Yeah, the best we can tell, Joe had one of his typical verbal gaffes. He said something that was totally unintelligible to us, but apparently it sounded like some sort of horrible slur in the aliens' language. Aliens were offended, voices were raised, Joe may have messed his pants. It was a real train wreck. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a terrible choice of words.
At airtime, the aliens were reportedly asking to be taken to a third leader after only spending 5 minutes trying to talk to Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, President Biden has assured the American public that he will confront the current alien invasion once he has successfully defeated hotel junk fees.
Listen, folks, I know our Air Force is busy shooting down flying saucers and whatnot, but these junk fees have got to go. Not a joke. It's getting to the point where you can't even let your grown son snort crack off the back of a Russian hooker at a Best Western without getting nickeled and dimed to death. How can I afford that?
Sources confirm the military is still shooting down random objects in the sky with no word on whether they're aliens, Chinese spy balloons, or helium balloons from Party City. The Secretary of Defense has ordered all branches to continue knocking objects out of the sky indiscriminately until they're given word otherwise from the Commander-in-Chief.
Our nation is facing many challenges right now. You can always count on my administration to prioritize them appropriately. And while we're at it, can we talk about how guacamole costs extra at Chipotle? How can we let that happen in America?
Former governor and ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, announced this week that she's launched her campaign for someone to select her as a running mate in their future presidential bid.
It is my lifelong dream to be vice president, and I will be happy to serve whoever asks me to be their running mate. Trump or DeSantis. Whatever. I'm not picky.
Trump is reportedly confident that Nikki Haley is just what his ticket needs to defeat Biden and reclaim the presidency.
You gotta fight fire with fire. Kamala's a woman, so I need a woman to throw at her. Nikki is the best. Believe me, I've checked.
Governor Ron DeSantis has not officially announced his candidacy for the presidency, but experts believe it's only a matter of time before he attempts to challenge Trump for the presidential throne. However, he would not comment on whether or not he would ask Nikki Haley to be his running mate. Sarah Palin has also announced a new campaign for someone to pick her for anything at all. FDA officials specializing in the field of genuine Mexican food have released a comprehensive, peer-reviewed report confirming no link between eating Taco Bell and immediately suffering from explosive diarrhea, and that Taco Bell was, quote, safe and effective. Some say the FDA's comprehensive meta-analysis may be enough to firmly place suggestions that Taco Bell causes a, quote, blitz in the britches to be unmistakable lies drummed up by conspiracy theorists.
The science has spoken, thus concluding Taco Bell to be the source of neither trouser slop, heavy charcuterie, nor chino cappuccino.
Said FDA spokesman Ron Fartsfeld.
Anyone claiming their cheesy gordita Crunchwrap Supreme led to an evening dancing the Dirty Dungaree disco is willfully distributing misinformation and should be held accountable.
Mainstream media outlets reported on the FDA's claim distancing the fast food chain from acute cases of the Battle of Waterloo and went further to insist that never in the history of food franchises have there been reports of Taco Bell causing a 21-gun gastric salvo. CNN's Don Lemon went so far as to purchase and eat a Taco Bell spicy double-steak grilled cheese burrito during his live 10 a.m. segment in front of dozens of viewers. The broadcast was cut short, however, due to unknown technical difficulties and not due to Lemon suffering a crackpocalypse. At airtime, CDC officials had announced an investigation into why people who watched CNN were all getting diarrhea. Sources in Hades have announced that Satan will finally be opening the underworld's first Chick-Fil-A franchise, but it will only serve cauliflower sandwiches.
We think this is really going to be a fantastic addition to hell,
said a veteran demon.
No waffle fries, no shakes, no spicy chicken deluxe, just cauliflower, as far as the eye can see.
The announcement came as a surprise, as Hell has been trying unsuccessfully for decades to land a franchise.
We believe all our previous plans to build a Chick-fil-A were thwarted by the undeniably Christian nature of the chicken. We demons cannot create anything new. We can only twist what is good into something evil. What could possibly fit that description better than a cauliflower sandwich?
Chick-fil-A joins a growing list of fast food chains which have opened the doors in Hell over the past few years.
Long John Silver's was out first,
said Satan as he observed the construction.
All you could order was just the breading that comes on a fish. The torture inflicted was something to behold. Our last project was Burger King, which was pretty easy because it's exactly like a Burger King on Earth. I'm really excited about this Chick-fil-A, though. I think the anguish will be next level.
The Chick-fil-A will reportedly still feature a play place where the damned are guaranteed to get stuck in a tiny slide that smells of fresh ramen. B-Radio features officially curated content from the Babylon Bee. Scripted, voiced, and produced by Austin Robertson. Additional voices in this episode from Bettina, Emma, James, Jared, Kristen, and Travis. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe to B-Radio wherever you get your podcasts.